I would like to now set the framework. Why are we even here? So in the next 15 minutes, I'm hoping that you at least get a glimpse of what we are hoping to do. And the key here is why we need to accelerate US-India sustainable energy initiatives. And is Colorado the right place to start? It's a question mark. By the time we walk out of this room today, we hope that we have some answers that can take us forward. Let me start with this. What you're seeing here is the global GDP chart. If you see here, US is the blue line here. If this is the growth rate we have, we will essentially have, this is in trillions of dollars. We are essentially about, roughly about 15 trillion today, and with that growth rate, even in absolute terms, China's growth, even as you can see that they are slowing down from 8% to 7% to 5% to 3%, their growth rate is going to be double of US. What you're also seeing is this brown line is EU5, made up of Great Britain, Germany, France, Italy, and Spain. And this is where they are today. This is where Japan is. And here is where India's growth rate is projected by many of the analysts. This is what majority of the people think as what's most likely going to happen. The question we need to ask ourselves is, are we heading this way? In realities, if you start looking at Jim Collins and Arianna Huffington and Fareed Zakaria, these are all key people who are in the media and have written great management books, are already saying that we are at an inflection point and what we do about it. So what we are saying is, can we go from here to here in a more balanced growth? China will still be growing very dramatically, but can US grow as fairly consistently, not as aggressively as China, but a 3.5% to 3% growth is the growth that we are hoping to maintain. We believe that US-India initiatives is going to be one of the key factors for balancing the world's economy, and that's the work we have done, tremendous amount of research from our people that we are going to talk about a little down the line. So what do we need to do this? And the other part we are going to say is, as many political leaders and global leaders have said, whoever controls the energy transition is going to control and be the global leaders for this century. The reason is very simple. Energy transition, or the energy industry, is an $80 to $120 trillion industry in the next 20 years. That is 15 trillion is US GDP. So you can see this is about almost 8 times the size of US GDP. So what we're really saying is what I just said, whoever takes the global leadership will take the leadership for the century. What does that mean? Before we go that, I want to give another very stark comparison. This is GDP as per purchase power parity. What that really means is US is indexed at 1, and China's index is right now about 1.7, and India's index is right now about 2.8. Very simply, it means that if you earn $10,000 in US, if you are earning $10,000 in India, you need to earn $28,000 here in US to have the same lifestyle and same rate. What you are seeing here with that is China crosses US GDP, purchase power parity GDP by 2011-2012. The indications are real. They are selling more cars than US. They are selling more TVs, more electronics, more appliances. And in fact, if you step out of US, you will see that the world's focus is on how do we get a market in China. Wayne Gretzky has once said, the difference between good and great players are the good players know where the puck is today. The great players know where the puck is going to be down the line. What I'm going to show you today is India might be that puck that's going to change and become a significant economic initiative in the world. And where India is today is about $5 trillion in purchase power GDP. And if they grow at 8%, this is where they will be. If they grow at 10%, which is what the Planning Commission is planning to hopefully plan for it, is in the next 2 decades, they will actually be crossing US unless US can do the second chart that I showed you. With that, if nobody can read these, it's meant to be, because whenever you look at notes, there's always footnotes, and there are lots of conditions there that can go wrong. In case of China, not transitioning to sustainable energy in time is one reason. Undervalued currency can be another reason. Low no-cost financing can be another reason. Working age, oppressive working conditions, cultural, political revolution, these are issues they have to deal with if they plan to grow that way. India has hundreds of other challenges too that we can talk about later. So what I do want to show is what is the key point I want to make is if these two countries, emerging economies between India and China, are going to be 3 times US GDP in the next 20 years, how do we make sure that our economy is balanced, our exports are balanced? The reality of the life is, I have just shown the key players. The largest trading partner for US is Canada. You can see that it's a reasonably equitable balance, although the export to Canada is still less than imports from Canada. Here is the OPEC countries, and here is China and US. Almost $400 billion in imports to US. We are doing about $91 billion exports to China. It's a 1:4 relationship. We need to start figuring out how do we change this to happen. As we said, India's export-import is roughly about $50 billion today, total trade, and there is a huge opportunity for that to be changed in the future. So, what I do want to show is the next level of details is what does that mean? In 2001, this is what our profile looked like in exports from Colorado to the rest of the world, especially, and you can see Asia was a fairly significant thing. In 2010, Asia's growth has significantly gone down as a percentage. Even in absolute terms, it has gone down, despite the fact that Asia's economy grew 2.5 times over that time frame. Something needs to change to make this more equitable. If you look at the details of what that means, you can see the different countries that were exporting. You can see where India and China is, and Japan was a huge part. By 2010, China and India are growing fairly significantly, but the point is exports to China and India are growing, but imports are growing faster. And how do we reverse this trend? How do we make it equitable is one of the things that we in Colorado and everybody in the US is looking at.